choosing love over fear, choosing our hearts over our minds. These have all been things that have really helped to connect me to my kids. It's helped my kids feel connected to me. It's really helped this sense of confidence and security in my two kids. So, in our ever changing world, I am choosing to connect. I am choosing to ground. I am choosing to have faith in what I believe. I encourage you to find what you believe. And it's really interesting. A while ago, my husband and I were doing some connection pieces in our partnership, and they had this piece that said to look at what are your top values in your life? What are the top three things that you value the most? And it was really interesting because my husband and I both had family as number one, and then adventures and travel and experiencing new experiences. Hi there, conscious parents. Before we start today's episode, it's Carrie here, and I wanted to reach out to ask you guys for a quick favor. As a follower of our show, we would love for you to give us a 5-star rating and leave us a review. It can be just a few words, that's it. And it really goes a long way with us, with the podcasting community on Apple or Spotify. So thanks so much for tuning in. And I'm so excited for you to hear today's message. Happy listening. Hi there, and welcome back. So I wanted to talk about foundations in our family. It was in 2020 that my husband and I started thinking, hey, some spirituality pieces have really helped to help us grow in ourselves. It's helped our relationship to connect with each other. We've learned and grown together as we've worked on these spiritual pieces for us and our family. And then the lockdowns happened. So we really didn't get out and experience that with our kids until like 2 years later when we finally felt safe going out in public. And so when we finally got to go out into the world and experience a spirituality piece for our kids, it was amazing. It was what our kids needed. It was what my husband and I needed. We needed this community and we needed this place to connect with other like-minded people. So I wanted to talk with you today, not necessarily about spirituality. That's what worked for my family, but I wanted to mention finding that foundation with your family, whether it's spirituality, whether it's religion, whether it's the lack of any of those, and you just want to talk about love connecting humans together in the world and be out in nature. When I was a kid growing up, my dad used to always say, our spirituality, our religion is being outside and connecting together as a family. And it grew some great, amazing pieces. I feel very confident in who I am based off of some of the things I learned in these life lessons. So you can talk about love connecting humans together. You can talk about whatever pieces work for you. But I encourage you in this ever changing world to think about something that is going to help build this foundation for your kids. Also, when we are talking about these spirituality pieces, I'm going to use spirituality because that's what worked with us. And it's kind of a matter that relates to your heart, right? So you have to choose for you. But when we talk about these pieces in my house and with my kids or other families that I know that love to do this too, it connects us to our kids when we are sharing these pieces of obstacles and challenges and how spirituality helped to lift us up, how our monkey mind often likes to chatter, and really grounding ourselves and having this idea and this faith and belief in love, connecting humans to humans, and choosing love over fear, choosing our hearts over our minds. These have all been things that have really helped to connect me to my kids. It's helped my kids feel connected to me. It's really helped this sense of confidence and security in my two kids. So, in our ever changing world, I am choosing to connect. I am choosing to ground. I am choosing to have faith in what I believe. I encourage you to find what you believe. And it's really interesting. A while ago, my husband and I were doing some connection pieces in our partnership, and they had this piece that said to look at what are your top values in your life? What are the top three things that you value the most? And it was really interesting because my husband and I both had family as number one, And then adventures and travel and experiencing new experiences were number two for both of us, which was really cool. I'm like, wow, I can see how we were a match right at the start. It was interesting because number three for my husband was this security piece, which he's the breadwinner in our house. And so I can see how the security piece is really something that he thinks about as being that role in our household. And for me, number three was spirituality. And spirituality for me actually brings me security as well. So for my husband, it was like a financial security. For me, it was a spiritual security. And I told him, we're actually not that far off because my spiritual security is also brings in the financial security too. My spiritual security is this understanding of enough will be enough. We will always find a way. We will always trust in the process. We will trust in being in the right place at the right time, and everything is working in the right order and things are going to be okay. Now, I do have my husband with the financial security piece, so I am free to think of the spiritual piece too, right? But I thought it was really interesting that our two pieces really connected, and that's a huge value in our family. And it's a balancing act in our family, is the yin to the yang, right? In our situation. So I really challenge you guys or support and send love towards you for trying to think about this foundation in your family. Well, that's a wrap. Thanks so much for tuning in, Changemakers. This is Carrie. And if you haven't done a review for us, 5 stars and a little few words about what you've enjoyed in our podcast episodes, we would really appreciate it. If you guys would like to ever message me, I would love any questions you have or any feedback at info@hearttoheartlife.com. We also have a brand new website, which we're super excited to share. It's hearttoheartlife.com. Thanks so much for tuning in, and happy life, happy times, Changemaker families. Please remember that the information shared on this podcast is educational in nature and does not constitute licensed mental health advice. If you need such advice, you should speak with a licensed professional about your unique situation. Thanks so much, happy listeners.